As PM hits out at moral collapse, a Christian mother tells how gangs corrupted her son.
Or to put it another way, everyone's trying to make very sure that everyone knows somebody else is to blame. By the way, it wasn't me.
The emphasis on gangs seems to be all about going to war against them and destroying them utterly. And yeah, that's one way of going at it, but quite frankly it's missing a trick, because what you've got with gangs is social networks and social cohesion of a kind. And surely it's better, instead of destroying that social cohesion, to keep it together and just turn it around, so that instead of going out to destroy and nick and steal and sell drugs and criminal stuff, you're instead getting these people to go out and do something positive.
They're shouting loud, bet their lies corrupt, because they say the rot's from the bottom up. But take a chance now, look around. The moral rot has come top down.
I was asked today what the difference is between goth and emo, and I said about 20 years. I am, of course, not a goth. I'm a post-apocalyptic dark punk. Definitely. On the subject of the curfew laws proposed as a result of the August riots, as they seem to now be being called in some parts, it seems to come down to the following slightly loaded question. Working on the basis of the recent riots, and not the non-riot related uses people are already planning to use this new law for, is it an abuse of power to enforce house arrest on all under 16s, the vast majority of whom are, of course, totally innocent of any criminal behaviour or intent, for a series of nights, I would expect a minimum of 2, across every major, across the whole of every major city in England from 4 PM onwards, because that's what would have been required to have had any effect on the August riots, on account of the police not knowing where the trouble was going to strike, and the rioters being quite happy to strike anywhere in the metropolitan area. I should also add a large proportion of the rioters were older anyway, so one can only guess why they're limiting this to under 16. I've just finished the paperwork to enter some of my art into the Dis Autumn Art Exhibition, which is going to be at the Cornhall in Dis on Saturday the 22nd of October and Sunday the 23rd, and I believe there's also a preview night, a ticket-only affair, on the Friday as well from 7:30. I'm putting in 5 pictures, two of my Winter Dawn pictures, Childhood and Dragon Rise. I'm putting in my Transformer Dave picture. I'm putting in Recycle the Dead, and I'm putting in Friday Night is Chick Night, which is really a special Keddington picture, but that will be there as well. These will not only be available to view, they'll also be on sale, and a couple of them are as little as 30 quid, so chance to pick them up there. 20% of the takings, if they get sold there, will be going to charity. Now all I've got to do is find my checkbook, because they've got a £2 hanging fee.
Now all I've got to do is decide who it is I want them to hang. Meanwhile, Here are some of those pictures so you can see what it is we're going to have up there. Do come along and see them in the flesh. They always look better in real life. A really depressing start to the morning. Killed a spider in a really horrible way. Didn't mean to. I was drying after my shower, and suddenly all these legs started falling out of the towel, and then the rest of the spider. I think I must have sort of dried it to death on my back. Apart from that though, lovely morning. As you know, I've been working on that picture called Princess. If you don't know, check back a couple of episodes. And it's got this sort of pinky purpley sky, because I was thinking of making a series with all very fake sky colours to give it an air of magic and that. And today I've been listening to a lecture on Constable, and all of a sudden, especially with the gorgeous skies today, which you can see those through the trees, suddenly I want to go back to using sort of proper blue skies and traditional sunset colours. Although obviously I can't use a sunset colour on that particular picture because it would be pointing in the wrong direction, but I may change it back to being a blue sky. We'll see.
Disturbingly, I have the fixing song that the mice used to sing in Bagpuss stuck in my head, but only the first bit of it, and the sort of third line has now morphed into something entirely different. So now what's repeating in my head are the lines, "We will fix it, we will mend it, we will fill it with gin, gin, gin." And what's worse is, I can neither remember the second verse nor make one up.
So, Jedward are in the Big Brother house. Not that I'll be watching, but I think you should vote out one of them right at the beginning and leave the other one in there right to the end. All on his own. Well, the Guardian's going on about more violence in jails as the large number of inmates from the riots starts filling them up, and how hard it is to keep members of rival gangs apart. When you look into the story though, the two fights they mention are actually in young offenders units. Now, I used to work in one, Feltham Young Offenders, in fact one of the ones where they had a fight today, or yesterday, probably both days, and probably the day before that, when I worked at Feltham, and it was not that long ago. If you didn't have a fight in the day, you'd think it was quiet. In fact, you'd probably think it was too quiet.
Well, it appears my niece liked her birthday t-shirts, which is nice. You can tell she comes from a family working in the media industry though. She's already using a ghostwriter, I think.